when we talk about particular skills and competencies and capabilities, let us take, for example, public speaking, maybe called oratory. Now, public speaking is very important skill in 21st century. It was important, it is important, and it will be important in future too. Now, there is a saying that if woodcutter wants to cut wood for 8 hours, he has to sharpen his axe for 1 hour at least. So, when one wants to acquire a particular skill, for example, public speaking, then what are the things which you have to sharpen? What are the things you have to do? Public speaker never becomes a public speaker in a day or two or in a month. Let us take example of Demosthenes, who was supposed to be a great orator. You will be surprised to listen that Demosthenes was not able to speak. His voice was in muttering, stuttering situation. But he decided to become orator. And he used to put pebbles in his mouth and go to seashore and start speaking his prepared speeches. So, what is my speech? What is the quality of my speech? And every day, if I want to speak, then I have to have some content. What content I have, what voice type I have, then at the same time, what is the volume of my voice? How much is the reach of my voice? Am I able to speak before 100 people? Am I able to speak before 1,000 people? So, if these dimensions are taken into consideration, then you have to have mastery over your content. You have to have mastery over your voice. You have to have some typical type of your own style to speak, where to, that is called intonation, where to raise your voice, in what way you have to utter the words, in what way you have to speak the words. So, for example, I saw a magnificent building. When speaker says like this, orator says like this, I saw a magnificent building. The magnificent word never translates and transmits the meaning. But when I see, oh, how magnificent that building was, a magnificent palace, towering palace. So, when you add life into that word, when you add your voice, when you add your style in that particular word and in that particular sentence, then you march towards your oratory. In oratory, in public speaking is needed. Public speaking is needed when you go to market. Public speaking is needed when you go to gathering. Public speaking is, even teacher is a public speaker because many students are before him. Even professor is a public speaker. Even a vice chancellor is a public speaker. So public speaker has to learn so many things related to the language in which he is going to deliver a lecture. अगर मुझे हिंदी में बात करनी है तो मेरे पास हिंदी का शब्द समुच्चय कितना है? If I want to speak in English, what is my vocabulary size? What is my vocabulary type? What is my vocabulary quality? If I want to tell something about changing the students, changing the teachers, if I say like this, the teachers today, they have to reconstruct themselves, they have to rebuild themselves, they have to redesign themselves, they have to revisit themselves, they have to rethink themselves, they have to reform themselves, they have to, everything they have to reconstruct, and they will be new teachers in 21st century. So if you use such words in your oratory, in your speech, that speech becomes bearable to the audience. So orator and listeners, orator and audience, there is a bridge between that. And language and voice, the content and voice, these are the bridges. If your voice is okay, if your content is of quality content, then it reaches to the audience. The audience, the span of the audience, listening span of the audience, and the speech. What are the effects of these words which we use. So, volume of vocabulary in different disciplines. If you want to talk about vocabulary related to environment, if your theme is environment, then you have to learn something about different kind of words. So what is sustainable development? What is ecosystem? What is aquatic life? What is marine life? What is jungle life? What is forest? What are the birds? What are the animals? Who are the quadruped animals? Who are the biped animals? Who are the flying birds? What are the varieties? So a particular vocabulary in which you are going to speak about that particular topic, if you use that vocabulary, then you become expert in that. If you want to talk something about literature, then if you want to talk about novel, then you don't know something about characters, but you know about characters. Then you should know about the traits of the characters. What are the traits of the character? There are some cruel people. There are some wicked people. There are some kind people. There are some compassionate people. There are some noble people. There are some benevolent people. There are some treacherous people. There are some cunning people. If you have some adjectives and some adverbs and some good words in your bag, then you can take them out whenever you need. So public speaking, if you want to become an orator excellent, every day you have to speak. Every day you have to listen to good public speakers. Every day you have to read for your content. And every day you have to enrich. Then people will listen to you. I know one person, one leader, Kemal Pasha of Turkestan. He delivered every day 6 hours oratory speech for 6 days. 36 days, 36 hours he spoke for 6 days. I know Cuba's leader, great leader, and he spoke for more than 8 hours in So some public speakers can speak continuously, Fidel Castro, continuously for a long time. Some people, they can speak for a minute. I have listened to some speeches, those were of 30 seconds. One gentleman who got retirement from one company, and he gave a message to his employees that I'm going to retire, and he delivered 30-second speech. So from 30 seconds to 36 hours, one can speak and one can impress and influence people. And then these people become influencers. And these influencers can be a leader, can be an industrialist, can be a teacher, can be a lawyer, can be a judge, can be anybody. Because public speaking is such a skill that it is useful in convincing people, motivating people, inspiring people. For even in politics it is necessary, even in business it is necessary, even it is in every day it is necessary. So for sharpening that, reading is must, listening is must, everyday speaking is must, variety of collection of vocabulary is must, collection of building short sentences, long sentences, that is must, some linguistic devices, embellishment of language, that is also must. So one has to work every day to sharpen that skill, and then somebody becomes a public speaker. In a day, it is not possible.